People buy products or services based on emotional needs or wants, and then justify their purchase logically. So, in the qualifying phase of the sales process, you need to find what the desired results are your prospect is seeking. For many people, the best time to replace their CPU is when their current system no longer meets their needs. Some prefer to upgrade to maintain the fastest processing speed. Others want to ensure they have the latest features. But in fact, I bet the old quad-core PC that you already have is good enough for anything you need it to do. If your current system can't perform the functions you need, you will want to replace it. If you use CPU-intensive applications, such as for professional editing, then it's usually worth upgrading your CPU every 2 or 3 CPU generations. Similarly, if you're running a very old CPU, you might want to upgrade just to improve your day-to-day desktop experience. Is a quad-core processor good in 2022? In general, yes, but not if you have a high-end graphics card and want to get the highest possible frame rates in the most demanding games. Dual-core CPUs are for basic tasks, word processing, browsing, and light gaming. Quad-core CPUs for acceptable gaming performance and responsive operation. 6-core CPUs are the sweet spot for gaming. It is cheap and solid for productivity work. 4 cores in a CPU are the minimum requirements for most editing, gaming, and graphics software. Although the programs will run, the cores won't allow you to enjoy the maximum functionality or speed of these programs. A 6-core processor, on the other hand, will provide you with better speeds and functionality. You'll be able to load software faster and play games at better frame rates. Key difference in threading is another reason why 6-core processors have an edge over quad-core processors. Hexa-core processors can have a maximum of 12 threads, while 4-core processors can't have more than 8 cores. The higher the number of threads on a CPU, the better its strength and capability to perform heavy tasks. The processing speed or clock speed of a CPU refers to how fast a CPU can finish its task. It indicates the number of times a processor can perform tasks per second. For instance, if your CPU has a clock speed of 5 GHz, it means that the CPU can perform up to 5 billion cycles in 1 second. You'll notice that most CPUs are advertised as having base clocks and max clocks. This is because CPUs are designed to conserve power when you're not doing intensive tasks, and unleash power when the task is high. Higher base clock and boost clocks are always better. However, it depends on whether the task you'll be performing will make use of the cores in your CPU or not. For instance, if you have a quad-core CPU and the task you're running requires just 2 cores, your quad-core CPU will provide sufficient speed. But if the task you're performing takes up all 4 cores, having a 6-core processor will be better in this scenario. Computer chip manufacturers, such as Intel and Ryzen, utilize multithreading to provide a core with virtual cores or threads. These threads allow your CPU's cores to divide certain tasks between each other. For instance, when a thread is waiting for you to enter some data to complete a task, a second thread can start doing the prep work for saving the task. While the real-world gains from thread counts are minimal, having more isn't a bad idea. Most modern CPUs, whether quad-core or 6-core, have at least 2 threads per core. So there's no need to pay too much attention to threading when considering CPU cores. You're thinking 6-core processors should be better than quad-core processors, right? While this isn't far from the truth, there are still exceptions. Quad-core processors are great for everyday use, and you're going to find them in most entry-level desktops and laptops. However, that doesn't rule out their ability to handle gaming. If you're a casual gamer who's looking for decent performance at a cheap price, going with a quad-core PC will be in your best interest. Be on the lookout for quad-core processors with 8 threads. Unlike their 4-thread counterparts, 8-thread quad-core processors offer multithreading capabilities. 6-core processors are ideal for highly intensive gaming. Their cores are designed to handle most workloads in today's environment. Whether you're an MMO gamer, video producer, or full-stack application developer, a 6-core CPU will provide you with optimal performance. 6-core processors are also available with and without multithreading functionality. So if you run apps that support multithreading and are looking to get a 6-core processor, ensure that your processor comes with multithreading. Most games won't use multithreading on a 6-core CPU. So if you're getting this processor for gaming, you don't need to worry about multithreading. The specs we've talked about above are the main parts you need to worry about. However, clock speed, IPC, and the number of cores in a CPU are the most important determinants. For those who aren't tech-savvy or can't figure out what to look for, a general rule of the thumb you can follow is that the more recent the chip generation, the better it's going to be.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe.